So today we're looking at the energy, the astrology of October 2021. And September had a lot of Neptune energy. September really felt like being on a boat in a very unpredictable ocean. You kind of didn't know what you were going to get, even from day to day, let alone from week to week. One day the waters were really calm and it felt like smooth sailing, and other days the waters were really rocky and it was all you could do to kind of hold on. It was very unpredictable, it was very up and down, it was very much September. You had to go with the flow and make adjustments as needed and respond to the situation at hand. It was almost like needing to have a plan, but be flexible with the plan. Like you couldn't hold too tightly to the plan. October energy is very different. October energy, in a lot of ways, is about saying enough is enough. It's about transformation. It's um, the image I get when I think about October and the transits of October is this imagery of tug of war. And there's this push pull energy, this back and forth, but also you think about tug of war. And if you're using, you got your hands on this rope, so you're probably getting rope burns on your hands. You're um, from the friction of trying to hold on to this rope. And as the rope is moving, and there's that rope burn, it burns like it's this fiery burning sensation. And there's almost this sense of even the tug of war not being fair, the sides, there being unfair sides, they're, needing to pick sides, or even, someone trying to, play dirty. Like the image here would be like, the two teams, the two sides playing tug of war, but someone pulls out like a knife and they're trying to like cut the rope so their side can win or something. um, there's just a lot of tension, and there's a lot of Mars and Pluto action happening this month. And also, for a good chunk of this month until October 18th, Mercury will be retrograde, and so that's throwing this blanket of confusion over our communication, of mixed messages. It's like a game of telephone where, the first person turns to the second person and says whatever the message is, but then by the time it gets to the end, it's completely different message. The message has been distorted and garbled. And so there's a sense of making sure the information you have is accurate to the best of your ability before responding or acting on it, which is very much Mars. Mars wants to, as soon as Mars has information, Mars wants to act on it. But with Mercury being retrograde, definitely not a good idea to do that. So let's dive a little deeper into some of the main astrological things happening this month. And the first is a new moon on October 6th. And this new moon is in Libra. That's the peacemaker sign that wants everyone to be on the same page. It's artistic and loves beauty and wants to, go have brunch with friends and just everything to be enjoyable and pleasant. But with this new moon, Mars is right alongside the moon, which brings fire and energy and even aggression and assertiveness to the table. And we're also going to be dealing with Pluto because Pluto turns direct the same day as our new moon. So typically a Libra moon urges us towards conversation and compromise and, working together to get our message across. But Mars and Pluto prefer blunt force and raised voices. And so we'll have to be really mindful that we're kind of rising above the urges we might have from Mars to, use aggression or dominate, and try to stay objective and see the bigger picture as much as possible. We may have to really work with this and really dig into our toolbox to find a way to work together to come to a compromise at this time, but it can be done. We also may encounter some unexpected news or a surprise, as Uranus is not quite making a quincunx, but it's close enough where it could be happening. Also, we have the moon, the sun, and Mars all will be opposite Chiron, which is the wounded healer asteroid. And so we can expect some old wounds perhaps coming to the surface so they can be dealt with. And perhaps because Pluto is going direct on this day, these wounds can finally be transformed and be transmuted into something else. So we're no longer carrying them with us. The next day, Venus will enter Sagittarius. And so Venus has been in mysterious and intense Scorpio. And now Venus is moving into Sagittarius, where we're going to get a fresh burst of energy in our relationships. It's like that, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere and, fall is approaching in, we're getting the fall breezes where the wind is a little cooler. That is kind of like the energy we're getting with Venus moving into Sagittarius. We're going to be all of us will be a little bit more social, a little bit more friendly, and we'll be more straightforward when it comes to talking with others and communicating to them how we feel. On October 18th, Mercury goes direct, which I know is what everyone is waiting for. So the communications will finally start to clear. There is a cautionary point here to make. You want to wait still before acting on anything for about a couple of weeks. So, a few days after the 1st of November, because we will be in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde until then. But you will start to find that you're getting new information, perhaps information you've been waiting on, or clarity or insights you've been waiting on, finally start to kind of pop up after October 18th. And then that brings us to our full moon for October. Our full moon this month will be on October 20th, and it will be a full moon in Aries. So this brings fresh energy and courage and drive and willpower and focus all to the table. The moon is in Aries, but the sun is in Libra. And so there is an opposition here. It's highlighting this like seesaw balance of the group or the collective versus the individual. Mars rules this Aries full moon. And because Mars is kind of hanging out right next to the sun in Libra, we could find that we're more irritable than usual. We are getting sucked into arguments, and we're really quick to defend our position no matter what. And we also might be looking to someone, because Aries is associated with leadership. We might be looking to someone to step into that role of leader and help us mend fences and bring everyone together. And so this full moon, again, it's kind of that tug of war energy that I mentioned at the beginning that is going to be highlighted, but hopefully there will be some kind of resolution, some kind of conclusion, something that helps bring us all together. On October 23rd, the sun will move into Scorpio. And sun in Scorpio is all about desire and intimacy and really deep feelings. We are not interested in small talk at all when the sun is in Scorpio. Instead, we really want to get to the heart or the root of the issue or whatever topic is on the table. The sign, if we feel very passionate here, we are more provocative, our feelings are really intense, but the sun in Scorpio is also really a beautiful time for healing and transformation, especially if we're willing to kind of go deep within ourselves and examine our feelings and our point of view and look at how we might shift or alter them in a way that serves us better. And then on October 30th, right at the end of the month, Mars will enter Scorpio. And so Mars is going to be very happy to finally be out of Libra and be in Scorpio. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio, so it feels right at home here. Mars helps us take action, especially towards releasing things that no longer serve us when it's in Scorpio. So this is a time where we can kind of clear out the clutter in both our physical closets as well as our mental and emotional closets, kind of mindfully and intentionally work on releasing things that are holding us back, that no longer serve us, that are weighing us down. Mars in Scorpio also really helps us focus and hone in on what we want, what we most deeply desire, and what action steps we can take to get there. And this is a strong-willed and strong-minded placement for Mars. And we're really fascinated with what makes other people tick and what's under the surface and what's kind of the driving force behind everything around us. So that is the month ahead. It's like I said, it's this really intense energy. There's a lot of Mars and Pluto energies, and there's just a feeling of push and pull, tug of war, of um, perhaps things being unfair or unjust, and having to make adjustments because of that, having to um, make changes, having to reconcile that unfairness or unjustness, or just the fact that everyone's at odds with one another. And so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out over the month ahead. And if you are interested in joining me to go even deeper with this astrology and look at more details of not only the astrology of the month, but diving deep into the astrology of each week, I hope you join me in Guided, which is my monthly membership circle where we dive deep into the monthly and weekly astrology and also have gatherings for ritual and just chatting about the astrology of the month ahead. It's the space where we look to the stars and the moon and the Mother Nature to guide us through our days and our weeks. So if you're interested, just head on over to the show notes to find out more about that. And I hope to see you there. Otherwise, I'll see you back here for the next episode.